Insulin resistance by Dr. S. Govender. Food travels from your mouth, through your esophagus, into your stomach, and into your intestine. Food then gets broken down in the intestine and gets taken up as simple sugars and fats and proteins into the bloodstream. The sugar from the bloodstream then causes the body to stimulate the pancreas to produce insulin. The insulin then goes to your cells. I want you to think of your cells as billions of houses. Each house has got a doorbell and a door. The insulin rings the doorbell and sugar enters through the door. That is normal glucose metabolism. Genetics can predispose some individuals to insulin resistance. Certain medical conditions, such as polycystic ovary syndrome and obesity, can contribute to insulin resistance. Certain drugs, including steroids and some antipsychotics, may increase the risk of insulin resistance. And lifestyle factors, such as lack of physical activity and poor diet, are significant contributors to the development of insulin resistance. When the door is stuck, this is insulin resistance. The sugar that cannot enter the cell then causes the body to stimulate the pancreas to produce more insulin. This more insulin that gets produced then goes and rings the doorbell, which gets rung continuously, and that forces the sugar to enter the cell so that your body is responding to sugar at a higher insulin level. The problem with the higher insulin level is that it causes an increase in fat production because the role of insulin is to take the sugar into the cell to be utilized and to take the sugar into the liver to convert to glycogen and to take the sugar to the fat cells to convert into fat. So that means if two people had to eat the same meal, one person has a normal glucose metabolism and the other person is insulin resistant, the meal would nourish the person with the normal glucose metabolism, and more of the meal would convert into fat for the person who is insulin resistant. If you have high insulin levels, you're in a fat producing stage. The fat producing stage causes an increase in weight gain, which causes the door to become more stuck. If the door becomes more stuck, then the sugar cannot enter again. Therefore, the same amount of sugar needs more and more insulin to help push the sugar into the cell, forcing it to become a vicious cycle. Another thing with high insulin levels, it causes a very low density lipoprotein to be developed, and this lipoprotein goes and deposits into the pancreas and kills the cells of the pancreas, the cells that make the insulin. This lipoprotein also deposits into the liver and it causes fatty liver. So, high insulin levels are responsible for fatty liver. Your pancreas cannot produce indefinite amounts of insulin to push the sugar into the cell. That's when your blood sugar starts to rise, leading up to prediabetes, which then leads to diabetes. I like to call it the three phases: phase one, phase two, and phase three. Phase one is pure insulin resistance with high insulin levels. Phase two is your prediabetes, high insulin levels and slightly abnormal blood sugar levels. Phase three is where you have high, low, or normal insulin levels, depending on the damage of the pancreas, and it's purely diagnosed with abnormal blood sugar. This stage is diabetes. And regardless of whether you are on stage 1, 2, or 3, all of these stages have insulin resistance, meaning your door at your cell is stuck at all three stages. What helps to get the door unstuck is certain medication and exercise. 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week is what is required to help get that door working again. Taking the first step towards caring for your health is a powerful act of self love. Believe in your strength and let today be the start of your journey to a healthier, happier you.